Hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah.
All right, so we are going to go over student ministries. That's Igniting Fuel today. And we are going to kind of walk through some different changes that are going to happen in mindset, not so much set up. But I just want to walk you through a couple of these. I know you guys have been sitting all morning long, so my goal is not to keep you here for a long period of time. In front of you, you will have a bunch of items that I want you to take a look at. It's right there on your right. And one of them is a small piece of paper. It's inside your Bible study leadership book there. That is a link to the Google Drive that will have everything for student ministry in it. It's already populated with this presentation, my notes. The first 5 Bible studies are already in there, and the calendar is already in there. So just when you have questions, you can always go to that, and it will update you. And it updates, and it will show you exactly what you need. Everything is uploaded in Word or PDF. So if you don't have either of those or access to either of those, let me know, and we will we'll get you something that will help you out with that. You're not allowed to edit in that, but you can at least view. Okay? Also, all right. Brief look at things that we're doing. The first week of Fuel and Ignite are not going to be Bible study based this year. What we are going to focus on this year is actually we are focused on inviting a friend for those first 2 weeks. So we're not covering any joy. There's going to be no joy in Fuel and Ignite for the first 2 weeks. Zero joy. But what we are going to do is we are going to do 2 weeks of games, activities, events, and then we're also going to do how to invite friends, how to bring people with you, how to talk to people about your faith, and who to look for. In other words, don't just walk into your school and find the grungiest person and say, oh, they need Jesus, I'm going to invite them. No, find the people who you actually have a relationship with and know and look like they would be receptive to at least talking. So we're going to go through all of that along with a lot of games and activities and fun in that way. If you have questions, stop me at any point in time and we will go over those. So if you have anything you have a question on, please let me know. This year, though, as I said, there is a change in mindset to what we are doing. And the big change is going to be not the setup or the running of the program, but it's a mental adjustment. And this is the toughest thing I think that's anywhere to do in student ministry, is a mental adjustment. We are switching from a mindset that has us regurgitating information and conversations to a mindset of discipling. Now, this was a big adjustment for me when I started looking at this, and my reason is because for me, discipling as a teacher and as an educator was always, you give them the information, they recite it back, therefore they know it, therefore they understand it. And I'm finding, after a few books that I've read this summer and everything else, that's not the case. And I know everybody else here is like, well, yeah, that makes total sense. But for me, that was a ministry-changing moment. So what we are going to do is we are going to do more discipling. And as you can see on the slide, we're going to use all of these different things for discipling this year. And we're going to do a lot of modeling, sharing, showing, leading, serving, and teaching. So they're all going to be part of that. And that's what I'm asking all my leaders and people involved to do. On your table, the book right above the 3-ring binder there is a book called Building a Discipling Culture. And I'm going to invite you to read parts of that this year. On the back side of your 3x5 card, there are the certain chapters that I'd like you to focus on when you read. Those chapters, I think it's 1 through 4, and then part 3, I think are the ones that I asked you to read. When you get time. This is not homework. This is not go out and do it right now, right away, this day and time. This is just for you to do so that you can understand it. This book kind of changed my opinion and my mind on ministry. It's actually a compilation of, there's 5 books in it. This was the one that changed what I did. And what we're going to focus on is this triangle this year. The up, in, and out. You're going to hear this a lot at Prince of Peace this year because these are kind of how we're living. And I'm going to walk through these 3 points real quick. Again, stop me if I'm going too fast. Stop me if I lose you. Stop me if I'm over your head. James, you're not allowed. It's a focus on how we live, how we work, and how we relate. So our first one here is up. It's loving God. And what this means is in our weekly stuff, it's going to be our opening, how we're praising. It's going to be through our Bible study, our focus on an application in our Bible studies, and we'll get to that in a little bit. It's leading, and so on and so forth. And one of the things that we are going to do this year is all leaders, I am begging and pleading with you 2 things. Number 1, please be here before 6:15. At 6:15, we're going to gather for prayer and announcements in our group. If the youth are here, we're going to let them be by themselves. We're going to gather here or in another room. We're going to pray together. We're going to pray for each other. We're going to uplift one another. We're going to ask the questions that need to be asked, give announcements. We're going to do those kinds of things because as we pray for each other, it makes it easier for us to pray for our youth and vice versa. So that's one of the big changes we're going to make. Also in front of you, I am strongly encouraging you. There is a small book called Leadership by John Maxwell, one of my favorite authors. It is a devotional book. I encourage you to use that. It's a 365. It's got a devotion for every day. To get up in the morning and just take 5 minutes to read your devotional book. And then also in there is a prayer journal as well. And I encourage you to use that as well as you do your daily prayers. Mark down what's going on, write down what's going on, write down who you're praying for, and so on and so forth, so that you have an opportunity to share those things with God. Any questions on that, on the up? Again, it's this all going to God. If you think of it, think of a step ladder. You're taking a step ladder up to God. Okay? And He's coming down to us. Next one is in. That's loving each other. And what this looks like is it's part of our game time, it's our social time, it's our fun time, it's our food time. One of the other changes that I want to make is I wanted to get parents to tag along with us, and each week I want to have food. Treats, candy, cupcakes. If they want to make us a whole steak dinner, that's fine. You know, whatever the case might be, I want to have food at every Fuel and at every Ignite. Now, Ignite's going to be different because they already have pizza involved, but we're going to have more of a snack bar going on for them. So they can not only purchase the pizza and so on, they can also purchase Rice Krispie Squares, fruit, and sodas and so on. Lastly is out. So glad I could edit video. Last one is out. That's loving the community. Here's the biggest of all the changes for group leaders. Okay? And this is why I'm throwing this out here, because I want you all to take a hand in this. Every semester, I'm going to have each group do their own service project. We will do some as a large group in Fuel and Ignite. We'll have a service night. We may clean the building. We may, see James, I'm thinking of you. We may clean the building. We may make tie blankets again. We may collect canned goods. We may do stuff like that. However, I want to encourage your groups to go out and do a service project. Not here, but go out and do it. And to do that, I've worked into the budget $100 per group to go do that. You go buy your supplies and then we'll reimburse you. And I want you and your group to come up with it. Whether it's go out and rake and we've got to buy rakes, whether it's feed my starving children one night, and take the night off from Fuel and Ignite. If your group is used to meeting on Wednesday nights or Sunday nights, then go those nights and do that. If you can't and you want to reschedule, go ahead and do that. and then just share with us what you're doing. Okay? So I want to support you as much as I can. If you go over $100, let me know. We'll talk. I mean, if you spend $500 on your service project, we need to have a longer conversation than just no. But you know, $100. That's what I'm looking at. Try to keep it in that range. But I want to task you and your group with coming up with that. Okay? All right. Any questions so far? Okay. What else is new in student ministry? Pastor Carl kind of walked through it a little bit this morning, but what we are doing is we are going to deal with these other ideas as well. We're going to start into radical hospitality, which means, and I'll go into all these in different ways. Theme nights. We're going to do game nights. We're going to do bring a friend nights. We're going to do all these different things. We touched on most of them last year. I want to focus on them this year. I want to make this stuff a commonality in our ministries. What does this mean? Well, radical hospitality is the first one. We talked about that. There was a sectional on that today. But what I want to focus you in on is, again, I want leaders here early and socializing with the youth. One of the things I've seen over years is our adults come in and they love to huddle in a corner and talk with each other. Why? Because it's comfortable, and comfortable is great. Comfortable is awesome. I have, your comfy clothes at home. You love that feeling. I want to branch out of that. Because as we model this for our youth, they're going to take it back to school and they're going to model it as well, and they're going to do it. So please come prepared, and then when you walk into this room, we're glad handing, we're shaking hands, we're kissing babies, and we're doing all the fun stuff that we do to connect with the youth. That's what I mean by radical hospitality. We're gonna join in the games. I want the adults to play. Now, if there's a game that you can't do, physically are unable to participate in, I get that. But I want you to participate as much as you are able, so that that connection happens. Make sure our youth feel welcome when they walk in. And make sure you love all over them. Because the more love they feel, the more inclined they are to stick around and stay. Any questions on radical hospitality? Most of what they talked about is exactly what we want to do. Meet somebody new. If you don't know somebody, get to know their name, get to know them personally, have a conversation with them. And as I have here, work the room. Be a politician. In a good way. In a good way. Theme nights. One of the things that we did last year, just briefly, was a theme night, and I'm going to make these a little more often this year. And you have to forgive me. Sometimes I think big and then pull in because my big idea wasn't capable. But I do have a superhero night worked in. If you do not have a superhero t-shirt, I'll buy you one. Okay? It'll be yours to keep. Huh?
I have extras.
Nice. I have a couple extras too. But if you want your own, great. I am thinking, and I talked to Carl about this on the mission trip, and this is not set in stone yet because I haven't gotten all the details. But in December, I want to do a Star Wars night. And for our senior high youth, what I am going to try to do is, and I'm going to do it for the whole church, I think, but especially for senior high, I'm going to rent out a theater. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a group from Prince of Peace out there. We're going to have an opening study. I'll go see the movie on Thursday. That's already a given. And then on Sunday night we'll do the story, and I want to then at the end have time with everybody and talk about how we relate Christ to the Star Wars movies. Because even George Lucas has sat there and said, this is Christianity, this is religion, and it's not a tough move to go that way. So if I'm capable of doing it, and I think I will be, that's what I want to do. I want to try to get that done and see if we can have that kind of a theme night, which I think would be really cool. Especially with a big movie like that. We wouldn't do it with Deadpool or anything like that. But Star Wars, you can do it with. Sorry.
We'll go see Deadpool though, right?
No! And then there's other fun nights that we're going to have as well. Some get-together nights. nights and things like that, so the themes will run throughout the year. We're going to do some game nights. These are more bring your friend nights, but we're going to do nights that are just strictly socialization. They're in nights. We're going to bring everybody together and we're just going to play some games. I'm working on, there's a game out called Pharisees, which is a takeoff of the Mafia game, if you've ever played that. And so this is, it's a Christ-orientated one, and so I'm trying to get my hands on it. It's actually sold out. It's completely sold out. And I'm waiting for it to come back. I've got it on my wish list, and as soon as they pop up, I'm going to buy another one. Actually, I found out that the company that made them put them out, and within 24 hours, they were all sold out. So I'm trying to get my hands on another one. So if you see it, grab it, I'll pay you back. And then finally is Bring a Friend nights. And what these are is, we just want to get the youth bringing friends here. We're going to actually tell them, hey, this is a Bring a Friend night. We're going to do this. Corn Maze is a Bring a Friend night. All of those things. We're going to have just games here. We'll have socialization here. We'll have movie nights here. All of those kinds of things where we just bring a friend. Okay? Any questions?
So you got four things. Can you go back one slide?
Yeah.
Is there theme nights is a thing, game nights is a thing, bring a friend night is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is radical hospitality, is that just general? Or
That's general. Okay. That's general. And a lot of these will overlap. Like, if we have a theme night and Star Wars and we're going to do that, bring a friend. I mean, it's kind of every night is a bring a friend night, but these are focused on, hey, we just want to get those relationships going. Game nights and bring a friend nights are going to kind of coincide in that. Any other questions?
Have you thought of any incentive for bringing friends, or
Well, I actually have a team of 2 people, and I'm looking for a couple more who are going to put together guest bags. And so anytime we have a visitor or a guest come in, they're going to get a bag of treats and stuff like that. What I don't want is I don't want them to be pushed to say, hey, here's a T-shirt that says Fuel or Ignite. Here's a Bible, here's a devotional book, here's a prayer journal, and oh yeah, by the way, there's a Reese's peanut butter cup in there too for you. I want to flip that. Here's a whole bunch of candy for you, and hey, you know what? We meet every Sunday. Very, very, very non-abrasive, very pushy, but loving. For the youth, no, I have not thought about that. Is that what you were kind of?
I'm just trying to think of ways to make it successful.
Keep brainstorming, and I will think on that too. And if anybody else has any ideas, please do, because I think one mind is great, 15 is awesome. And so the more we can think and brainstorm, I think the better off we're going to be. So thank you. Speaking of bring a friend and stuff, some things that I didn't mention, we did the fun nights, connection nights. Our lessons in Bible studies are going to be much shorter. Less time of study, more time in connection. And so what this is going to look like on a given night, and actually if you want, you can pull out the 3-ring binder as we go through this and take a look at what the lessons are going to look like. Our initial lesson is on joy, and I'll just flip through these real quick. So we have joy and dysfunction are actually the ones that you have right now. The first page of your binder is a calendar. The first page is fuel. The second page is actually misprinted. It says fuel calendar, but if you look at the very next line, it says ignite. So it's the ignite calendar. They run in conjunction with one another. The dates are all set up right. All of that is together, and all of that works. Our lessons that we're covering this year are all of these. So not only will we do joy and dysfunction to start, but then we're going to do rescue, filled, overflow, reticent, and invited. And so these are the topics and themes for each lesson of the year, or each sermon series of the year. If you take a look now at the first lesson, that's the lesson for joy. And actually, I'm not going to do joy. Joy is our introduction lesson. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go to the second one under dysfunction. Or the first lesson on dysfunction. Okay? And I had this idea for dysfunction that I thought was kind of neat. If you notice in the lesson plan itself, you have the beginnings are basically the same. I have the Bible study written. I have the layout for what the week is. And then you go to the next page. After the Bible study, you have opening time. You do highs and lows, and you do God sightings. And I know, Carl, you'll know God sightings from work camp this year. I really want to focus on our youth thinking through where did they see God this week in their lives, or where did they see God over the last month, or where did they see God over the last several weeks, and how is He working on them, what is He doing for them, and how do they see Him in their normal everyday lives. And when you ask those questions, pause. And I don't mean say, God sightings this week. Okay, let's go on with the lesson. No. Remember, they haven't heard it yet. They'll get into that rhythm in a couple of weeks, but ask God sightings. Who saw God this week? How about you, Heather? Did you see God this week? And you start rolling in that way, and they will automatically jump on board. And don't be afraid to share your highs and lows and your God sightings as well. In fact, come prepared to share yours, because they will jump right on board with you once you do. Because they'll learn that, oh, okay, well, Gabe can share, so can I, so it's okay. Or Miles doesn't talk much, so therefore, why do I have to talk if he doesn't want to share his life? And and then for the lesson. And in this lesson, if you'll notice, I am focused on application. There is very little talk of the story, and if there is, it's right at the beginning, and it's right at, hey, this happened with Joseph, or this happened with the prodigal son, or this happened with whomever. How does that relate to you? And we go through this. There's a section in the lesson where I'm asking you to read or give your own input in this direction, and then we'll close the lesson out. So the lessons are not, real intense. They're not Bible study. They're application study. And the big thing is they're only 20 minutes, no more than 30. Most people will look and say it's not enough time to connect in your small group, but if you do it week after week after week after week, the connections will develop no matter what. And a lot of the youth, other than the freshmen, no offense, Emma, a lot of the youth, other than the freshmen, are already going to know you people. So it's not like it's something new for them, and the freshmen usually fall right into place. No offense, Emma. All right. In this lesson, though, at the end, and this is where I changed up my thinking. I am thinking about every lesson. There's going to be every section lesson. There's going to be a takeaway, and not just a personal takeaway, but an actual physical something that they're going to take away from the lesson to remind them about what they learned. Now, it won't always work, but this is my try. So for the dysfunction one, week 1, they're going to get a rock with a hole in it. A small hole at the top. So think of it as a rock that you would wear as a necklace. Okay? They are going to write the word chosen, and they're going to write their name, or their name and chosen. So, it would be Emma chosen. And this is very similar to what we did at work camp. Okay, and so they'll take that, they'll use that, and they pray. And the next week they're going to come back, and it's on God pulling us back to Him. And they're all going to get a piece of string, similar to the string that I wear on this necklace right here. So just like a choke chain one. We're going to tie it, we're going to put the rock on. Then the following week, I think they're going to get a cross with a hole in it that they can hang on that. And then the last week, they're going to get a peace sign. And the reason I'm doing all these is it follows the general theme, but it's going to be on that string so they can hang it on their rearview mirror in their car, in their bedroom, in their dorm room, on their bedpost, in their locker, wherever they want, so it reminds them we're dysfunctional, but we're still part of God's family. And it's that go back to physical reminder of what's going on. And so I'm kind of excited about this to see how it goes. I know not everybody is going to grab hold of it and say, oh, this is great, but if we get 2 or 3 of them that are like, I remember this is cool, I think it's well worth it. So that's the plan for that. So there'll be a physical takeaway. I'm trying to, at least with every lesson. Okay? Any questions? No, they don't have to, because they can take it home and then go and use their rope. And then, they can go back and untie it and put their cross on it. They can go back and untie it and put their peace sign on it. The question is, the hard part is going to be getting it from here home. That's why I'm making them small enough that they'll fit in their pocket and not super huge. And I mean, if they really want to be Mr. T, they could wear it as a necklace. All right. Any questions on the lessons?
You showed this one as the first one, and then you have a Joy is the first.
Joy is going to be that first week.
Are you giving us other material for Joy, or is that?
Nope. Joy is going to be, the first 2 weeks are just going to be, how do you invite a friend? Relational ministry, games, getting the youth connected with each other, and how to invite a friend.
Got it.
So there'll be no small group, that's just the 2 weeks is your chance to connect with each and every youth here.
Got it.
Okay. Communication. On the back of that postcard, I tried to put everything on this postcard, is going to be how we're going to communicate this year, and just parts of it. In the bottom of that, I gotta get one because I forgot. Thank you. Some of the things that we're going to be doing in communication are going to be a little different. The lessons will be loaded onto the Google Drive. I will also print you off a copy. You will have them at least a week, and I try to function at least 2 weeks out. So 2 weeks before the next lesson hits, you should have those Bible studies. I am not going to bring everybody here to teach them how to teach a lesson. You guys are smart, educated people. I don't need to do that. But what I will do is, every time there's a lesson that comes out, I'm going to put together a short video, 1 to 3 minutes, that walks through what the theme is. So you guys will be able to see that, know that, and understand exactly what's being taught. Alright? Very short, very precise, very to the point. It won't be difficult at all. And I'm going to try to make them somewhat fun. I'm going to load them onto edpuzzle.com. I'll send you all a link to it. Just so I can see if anybody's looking at them and kind of encourage people to go back and view them. So it's going to be a very easy place to go. As you look at the dates, August 19th, that's today, is bringing the leadership gathering. That'd be all the SALT, the group leaders of Fuel, and the Ignite and Fuel adult leaders. So I'm looking at small group leaders, adult leaders, and so on and so forth. October 16th, we're going to have a gathering at my house for dinner. And we're going to take some time to debrief how everything's going, what we can do to support each other, what we can do to support you, to support leadership, to support our SALT youth team, our youth leaders, and so on. And then we're also going to do that again on February 5th. And then we'll have an end of the year party on May 24th at my place to close out the year. The SALT and adult group leaders are going to meet in room 9 on November 6th and March 12th. I am not doing a monthly meeting. I hope that doesn't offend everyone. We all have busy schedules. We all have places we need to be. We all have a lot of demands on our time. So instead of doing a meeting every month like we were doing last year, which by the end of the year I think we were all burnt out on, I love you guys, but we were all burnt out on, okay, is it another night where we have to get together above and beyond? What I'm going to do is I'm going to communicate each week via email, just pointers, ideas, thoughts, encouragement, devotional ideas. I'm going to communicate via text message to make sure if you have something personal, we can do that. You will be the only people who get my my cell phone number. I don't try to give that out a lot, so I will give it to just our leadership group. And then I'm also going to communicate via video, putting together video and then sending that out to everybody so you'll be able to get the information as we go. I know that sounds like little, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to save you all time and my self-time, because the most precious commodity that all of us have is time. And so I'm trying to make that as easy on you as I can. If it's not enough, please let me know. Please let me know. Other things I'm trying to do this year, these gatherings that I have listed here are all going to be check-ins. I'm going to reach out to people individually to check in with them and make sure they're doing okay. If you need anything, I'm always available for coffee or lunch, my treat. So please let me know, and I'm willing to do that. Next summer, I wanted to try to get something during the year, but I'm unable to. Next summer is a very unique opportunity. July 8, 9, 10, and 11. I'm still working on the details of this, but July 8, 9, 10, and 11 is the National Lutheran Youth Workers Conference in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The reason I point this out is I'm going to try to work in my budget to take 10 people, 9 plus myself, to Minneapolis for this conference. It'll give us a chance to sit down, it'll give us a chance to communicate and talk during the summer and plan for next year. It's also the venue for the 2019 National Youth Gathering, so not only will we get there for a while, we'll also be able to scout out the different hotels, the different things that are happening. Plus, they will already have National Youth Gathering stuff sitting out ready to purchase. So if you want anything, you can already get it there. And the reason I'm pushing the gathering, I know Prince of Peace has not done the gathering ever, I think, if I'm right. At least I know they have the last 20 years. This is the one mountaintop experience that the youth need to experience. And if there is any way that you want to understand what this is going to look like, join us. Just plan on taking that time and enjoy some time together and some time there. I will do all the planning for it. I'll get you all the hotel rooms, I'll get all the registrations. I just need to know when. So come the first of the year, I'll start reaching out to everybody and letting them know what's going on. But I wanted you guys to hear this first. My plan is to work that into the budget so that can happen. Okay? I want to support you as much as possible through communication. So again, if there's anything you ever need, please reach out and contact me, and we'll get that done. Other people we need to get involved. Speaking of communication and so on and so forth, one of the big things that we are lacking is I am lacking 2 women, one to lead an Ignite group and one to lead a Fuel group. 9th and 10th graders do not have a girl leader yet, a woman leader yet, and our 7th graders do not have a leader yet. Now I have enough that I can cover it, but I want at least one more. So if you come up with an idea of somebody who would be a great group leader for Ignite and or Fuel, please let me know. Please let me know. So that we can do that. I'm also trying to work on a group that will be considered just welcomers. One of my big things is when somebody comes into the building, I want to have at least 3 levels of touch. And 3 levels of touch is very important. Touch doesn't mean that they all get hugs. Touch means that there's a connection point. And so when a youth walks into this building, I want them to have a connection with someone right away. Someone who will shake their hand and direct them where to go. I want the youth then to be able to, after they come in and register, I want them to be able to enter this room and at least one person, adult-wise, greets them and welcomes them. I don't care if you know them or not. I want at least one person to connect with them in one way, shape, or form. And then finally, before they leave, I want them to have one more set of connection or one more point of connection. Because if you can get 3 levels of connection, 3 levels of touch in a 15-minute span, the person is more likely to feel welcome and come back. Whereas if they walk into this building and they walk into this room and people are just sitting in little clusters, they feel very unwelcome. So anytime anybody walks in that door, I want at least one hand shaking their hand. And I want one person saying hi to them. And I want one person connecting with more than so. Okay. we need more than that. So I'm trying to work at getting welcomers and people like that who are willing to step up and take care of them, along with us. Any other questions? Carl?
Communications, so text, what's your primary methods this year for communicating to the youth about events, reminders, etc.?
I'll use the Remind app again, and that'll all be sent out to all the youth. I try to communicate with parents via email, and then parents and youth via the text message Remind app that we had last year. Those will be my two primary ways to communicate. I will also do some Facebook, Instagram posting, but it seems to not be as effective as just flat out text message.
Okay.
So each week when fuel is happening, I'll send out a text like I did, a remind text like I did last year.
Okay.
Yeah, Heather.
When you have new kids, like the shop and stuff like that, are you gonna, maybe this is more detailed, but like, do you want the leaders to be, calling and following up, hey, glad to see you, hope you can join us again? I mean, do you want some kind of between Sunday, this is for fuel, like follow up?
Well, for Fuel and Ignite, what I did last year, and I failed at it miserably, but I have a better plan in place this year, is I have postcards already put together. Thank you for coming. And so as they register via Planning Center, then we can fill that stuff out, and I can send them that with a little note and send it on the way. So that's the plan as of right now, and then we'll take it to the next step. So yeah, that's what we're looking at right now for the.
So we talked text. What about like at the beginning of the year? Like there's a lot of, let's say, or students that maybe weren't here last year,
Right.
and students we haven't gotten plugged in. We won't have their text.
Right, well, I'm not doing any communication right now via text because I don't have everybody signed up.
Yeah.
Because I had, at the end of the year, then I wiped that information out, and I'm asking them to re-sign up again.
Okay.
So my thought is I've been communicating with families via email right now, and then as we get closer, sort of that week before Labor Day is what I'm looking at, send out another blast that says, please sign up. I'm debating back and forth, and here's my debate. I'm thinking of sending a letter. I was going to have hey, we're having a fuel informational night. Families are way too busy. I feel that would be not very effective. I'm thinking of sending a letter out to families, but again, we're a 145 character society. So a letter, if it's more than a paragraph, people aren't going to read it. So I'm debating on how to get that information out. I'm putting stuff in Pop News. I've put stuff in. I've sent out multiple emails. I don't know how else to do it.
Okay.
I really just don't.
Okay.
And if you have a better an idea, please help me. Skywriting, little banners that fly in the sky. I got nothing.
Okay.
What?
Leaflets drop.
Leaflets and drop. I think that would be, yeah. Shoots out, come to fuel.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, a personal invitation, whoever we know,
Exactly.
is most effective. So I guess as leaders here, if we know people that are not connected, and this comes from me, not from Matt, it's our responsibility to go out and to reach out to a few people. So I guess I would say that and ask your kids, say who's not connected that you know of, and try to work on them to reach out to them. That would be another thing. So.
Well, I mean, I'll share a personal story. I dropped the ball yesterday. Faith brought a friend home to the house. They were going out, her and another girl. And the one, I looked at and I go, I know you. She goes, yeah, my brother is in confirmation. He's going to start this fall. And I'm like, I thought I knew you. And then Faith goes, all right, Dad, we're leaving, bye. And I never once said, hey, you know what? You ought to come to Fuel on September 10th. And as I sat down on the couch and they were walking out the door, I'm like, I should be doing this. And I'm a loser. And that's exactly what went through my mind. And,
5 push-ups.
what?
5 push-ups.
Not on camera, but later. But yeah, I mean, anybody we see in church, anybody we want to invite, anybody we want to do that kind of stuff with, I'm really wanting to pull them in. So if you see somebody, just step out of the comfort zone and say, hey, you know what, you ought to be a part of this, because I think you really like it. So, yeah. Any other questions? I don't want to take all of your day. I know you guys are busy people. One last comment that I want to make. I am looking to streamline a lot of things, especially in fuel. And the reason I'm thinking of streamlining it is to save my sanity and to save others. And so this kind of goes for especially James and Gabe and Miles and Matt. I'm looking at moving chill during fuel time. And so what I'm going to do is invite them to join us in the van, and then let them break out, and then if they want to come join us for games and fun, they can do that. If they want to stay in their small group, they can. But just to let you guys know, that's my thinking as of August 19th. I always reserve the right to change my mind. But that's kind of where I'm leaning right now with that. And the chill group, from what I've heard from those who answer email, is that they're cool with that.
And that's like mentoring for the high school students.
That's exactly right. And that's one of the things that I didn't put on here. I've been kind of calling it Slinky Ministry. And it sounds goofy, but have you ever taken a Slinky and then stretched it out? The hoops go back over each other, don't they? I mean, and you got to really pull it hard to make it straight, but if you just stretch it a little bit, it slinks over each other. And I believe that that's the component in Ignite, or Pop Kids, Ignite, Fuel, Chill, adult ministry, and older adult ministry that needs to happen here at Prince of Peace. And we started it last year, and this year I'm making a concerted effort to make it even more. And so what I'm encouraging people to do is I want our youth on Sunday mornings. There is not going to be a youth Bible study on Sunday mornings. The man kids were educated well enough last year, they don't need to go. So what we're going to do is I'm encouraging all those youth to go help in Pop Kids. More than just encourage. They're going to have drama teams, they're going to have readers, they're going to have background helpers. They're going to have all of those components are going to be part of that.
Are
So
you going to communicate that to these other?
I'm having an Ignite meeting on the 30th, so that's where that's going to be verbalized. But then that gives our Ignite students an opportunity to put what they learned into motion. And then we go back forward again and we go to Fuel, and the Fuel youth come back and help with Ignite, which we had last year. And I've kind of heard rumors that you want to do that as well. I think it's great. And then having our young adults, you guys, come back and start mentoring our Fuel youth, and so on and so forth. And that's why I mean Slinky Ministry, because everything moves back over itself. So just like us as adults who come in and lead these groups, we are mentoring those youth. And it's a bigger, leading a group is one thing, mentoring is something a bit different. And so what I'm looking at is we're going to model, shape, and help by going back and helping the youngers and then going over. And then what I want to do is I want to step up into our older adult ministry, like I said last year, which I couldn't get done, and have them come back and mentor our confidants.
Maybe you need to make a Slinky shadow box, put a Slinky like that kind of mounted somewhere as a reminder.
Well, there's a lot of things that I'm thinking about doing, yeah.
That's your job, Don.
Yeah. Any other questions? Heather?
To have the high school kids merge in the junior high, are you still gonna do a similar type of thing where they're coming?
Exactly what I did last year, only I'm going to take the high schoolers through a brief training as to what I want. Last year they did a great job of sitting in the groups. This year, what I'm going to tell my leaders and high school youth is I want my high schoolers in the room first. and I want my leaders to not enter the room for a good 3 minutes in Ignite. And my reason is because as those high schoolers walk in, those junior high youth, and you can cover your ears if you want, Emma, the junior high youth look up to them. And so they enter that room and they sit down and they say, tell me your highs and lows. Those junior high youth are going to share more with that person than with their adult, most likely. And that youth is going to understand more of what they're going through. And then that's when real mentoring happens. And then the adult leader can come in and kind of join in, but that's what I'm looking at for that. Go ahead.
No, I gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta have to.
Okay, let's close with the word of prayer. I do need to talk to you and Heather real quick before you guys go. So let's join in a word of prayer. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank and praise you for this day, Lord, a chance to just gather up and learn more about what you are wanting from us. Lord, I ask you to be with us as we go, as we mentor our students, we train them, but most importantly, Lord, we disciple for them, that they may see you in everything we do. All of this, Lord, we ask, offer, and pray in your holy and precious name.
I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me.